Magandang araw po. Kumusta kayo? I hope everybody is well. Welcome back to the channel. This is Adventure with Grace. And Polanka, of course, is with me. Come and join us. This morning, we got gorgeous sunshine. However, rain in the afternoon. Most county in northern Nevada are all under flood warning. Be safe, everyone. Because I get some time off, we will enjoy this day with some downtime and relaxation. Come and join us.
Giving a message to also have people like, InfoWars or Mike Lindell who were out there and had a big.
But first, I have to walk Polanka. He needed extra walking today. Since the weather is still great, we're going to take advantage of it. So come and walk with us. On the days that I'm working, I still walk Polanka. I walk him twice a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Probably 15 or 25 minutes each. But on my days off, we try to do a little bit extra. And I'm sure he appreciates it. And lastly, I get to play and then fly the drone so I can show you the beautiful places in northern Nevada. There was a dog that came over and said hi to Polanka. Not on a leash, and Polanka was not in a good mood. So he snapped a little bit. Everything's fine though. No one got harmed. Polanka is fine. His dog is fine. Everybody's fine.
is there. Your company's message can be too. Find out how by emailing me at sponsor@kwnr.org.
This is Sean Lay with NewsHour, live from the BBC studios in London. Last week, a judge ordered the shutdown of the controversial Alligator Alcatraz migrant detention centre in Florida. The ruling's already the subject of an appeal. The first half of its name, and it's its official name, alludes to a creature which is plentiful in the Everglades where it's located. The second half to an infamously tough American prison of the past. Josephine Castley sent us this report from outside Alligator Alcatraz.
There's lots of big trucks going in and out while we stand here. There's obviously a new sign saying Alligator Alcatraz, big fences. The controversial Alligator Alcatraz Detention Centre was speedily built in 8 days on a disused airstrip in the Everglades, a protected wetlands in South Florida.
The Everglades is not only important because of the
Foundation at macfound.org.
This is 1A. I'm Jen White here.
A group of UN experts has urged the authorities in Mali to free immediately an anti-corruption campaigner who's been in jail for nearly 2 years. Clement Mamadou Dembele has remained in detention despite a court ruling 4 months ago that he should be released. BBC News.
Hello and welcome to the program. This is NewsHour from the BBC World Service coming.
I don't have the total number off the top of my head, but it's dozens of states offer some form of mail-in voting. There's states that vote almost universally. 1 million Americans cast the mail ballot during the early voting period. So that tells you,
including people who aren't in a wheelchair but are carrying luggage, or who are, pulling a little kid along. Same is true for methods and means of voting. So the way that we've developed multiple modes, right? States also have places where you can go to the local county official's office and vote in person if you want. States that offer multiple options
hope to become disabled one day because that means we've lived long enough to earn it. And I think that
it's plausible to exercise their right to vote and cast a ballot. I gotta come back in the same breath to what Nick said before. He can't actually do that. So this is more about giving a message to the public. And by the way,
in part because his own campaign advertising, when you scare people away from using a method of voting, you're probably hurting your own voters, including many elderly Republicans. Sure, I think in places where the federal government is in charge of a process, it is true.
Talking to other local election officials, do you feel that the sentiment?
I do, and I have had the opportunity over 30 years to work with people from across the country who run elections in their local jurisdiction. The challenges of these constantly changing laws is that all of this
really, they percolated for a while. They started, or maybe not started, but they were around in 2004 on the fringes. They were around in Georgia on the fringes in 2018. But they really got mainstreamed and mainlined after the 2020 election, when there were influential people like, InfoWars or Mike Lindell, who were out there and had a big microphone with the right saying that these machines were hacked. There was even a press conference where Sidney Powell, one of the president's lawyers at the time, aspect of the voting process, whether it's a state like Pennsylvania where, you're touching a digital interface and casting.
Hand-counted paper ballots are the least accurate form of ascertaining election results. And I'd love to hear your perspective, Kim. 236-1212. You can also leave a message with our app, 1A Vox Pop, and we'll get to your questions on Wednesday. Now we're talking about efforts to change our elections with Nick Corsiniti. He's a reporter for the New York Times who writes about voting and elections. Justin Levitt, professor at Loyola Law School, and Kim Wyman, former Secretary, quotes there, where he has the National Guard pre-staged. We got this from Barbara in Maryland. Unfortunately, I don't feel mail-in ballots. And this from Jason. Mr. Trump is signaling to loyal election officials to follow orders and sowing doubt in the legitimacy of the West. The end game may be lengthening his time in office, or it's a longer game of installing his own election officials within each state. I just want to make sure we note that when it comes to Dominion, Fox to the tune of $767 million, Dominion to the tune of $67 million, already been litigated. But Kim, what we're seeing is a
2000 election. And so that's what I worry about most, is that election officials now, on top of their very technical and very...
Trump is the loudest voice in undermining faith in elections, but certainly not. But the president was putting it on social media a lot. So then Speaker Mike Johnson starts to think, okay, what can we do? And we'll pledge legislation. And then, the chairs of different committees come out and they say, we're for this legislation. And it kind of snowballs from there, but it always kind of starts at the top. We've seen that with a bunch of different other, election conspiracies. There were over 150 members of Congress in 2020 who voted to try and help the former president at the time overturn the election. So there's always been that support there. But when it comes to some of these newer things, especially election, Congress still narrowly divided. There's when this partisan downvote is never going to be able to get passed. So similarly, with this is why you're not seeing
about legality later. I'm talking to you from Los Angeles. We had a National Guard deployment here of several thousand troops. I'll tell you, several thousand troops in a region of 20 million people made a big splash for the TV cameras, but you didn't really notice it in the streets. So I think this...
It's gloomy. There's a thunderstorm coming any moment. It's about 2 p.m. right now. Oh yeah, it's coming. Look at those thick clouds. It's gonna be awesome. Here it is. It's raining. Yep. There's a flash flood warning. Ingat kayo dyan. Okay. Do you like the rain, Polanka? It's nice and cool, huh?